Okay. Yeah, well, hi everyone. And then thank you so much for joining today's webinar around your career with MDXworks, so Middlesex's Careers and Employability Service. Delighted to be here on a scorchingly hot day here in London. My name is Jack Timms and I am the engagement manager here at Middlesex as a part of our careers service. I'm delighted, however, to be joined by a couple of guests, one of whom I believe hasn't quite made his way here yet, but we'll be joined by Atiza Mahid, and we also got Nika MacDonald, who is here and is enjoying the weather outside. So Nika and Atiza are both current students here at Middlesex and are from Pakistan and the Philippines respectively, and they're here to give a real insight into the international student experience here at Middlesex. I'm really excited to allow them to share their experience with you a little bit later today. The webinar itself is going to last about 60 minutes. We'll have a quick presentation from me, and then the two students, and then a bit of a Q&A session at the end where you can ask any questions around your career, your employment opportunities here at Middlesex University. If you would like to ask a question, pop them into the chat room on the box in the right-hand side of the screen, and we'll make sure that those are addressed at the end of the session, or as many of them as we possibly can. If we can't answer your question here in the session today, we'll make sure that we take that away for follow-up. Just so you're aware, the webinar is being recorded, so do make sure that if you didn't want to be on the recording in terms of video, just keep your camera and mic off. But yeah, just so you're aware that there will be a recording, and presentation slides will follow in the next couple of days. So if we do skip through anything in terms of content, don't panic. It's just because we've got a little bit shy on time. So you'll be able to have a little look at the further detail as we run through. So I'm going to try and give a very quick whistle-stop tour into all things MDXworks, so the Middlesex's Careers and Employability Service. So here we go. So people ask us often, what do the Careers and Employability Service do? And it's quite simple, really. It's what this message is on screen. Our sole aim is to prepare you for what comes beyond your degree, and to ensure that you are prepared and ready and knowledgeable and happy around the future prospects that exist within your career. So what we want to do is really prepare you for the next chapter of that journey. And we'll do that in a number of ways by supporting you through your degree to acquire the suitable experience, skills and knowledge to equip you with what you need to go on to a fulfilling career of your choice. And our unique service is very much designed to ensure that the support that you get is tailored advice and guidance. So everybody will be coming from different backgrounds, everyone will be coming from different subject and program areas. And what we need to do to ensure that your experiences for you is tailor our advice and guidance. So we work with you to ensure that we understand who you are as an individual and what your aspirations are first and foremost, but more importantly, your background and your experience and your talents, and also some things that people don't think about. So your lived experience. It's not always about have you had a part-time job. We want to know more than that and understand exactly what makes you tick and exactly what is great about you. So when it comes to putting you in a room with an employer, or you getting into a room with an employer, or attending an interview, you have got a whole host of things to articulate to them. And what we want to do as a career service is help you to essentially package all of that up whilst you're here at university. So you've got a story to tell when you actually complete your degree here at Middlesex. So the tagline for our service is to tell your story, because telling your story is what employers want to hear. The degree is a fantastic thing, and when you come to Middlesex, it's a great thing to have the degree itself, but by itself, it's not enough. You need to have more experience. Employers will often ask, what else have you been doing alongside your degree? And you'll hear from students today around some of the things they did, and I'm going to talk you through a little bit around some of the things you can do as well. So you do have that story to tell employers in the future. I'm not going to read through all of these, but this is essentially a summary of what we deliver as a career service, and I'll pick out some of the key messaging here. As I said, that one-to-one tailored advice and guidance is absolutely at the heart of everything we do here in MDXworks. So depending on the course that you study, you will have a very specific faculty employability advisor who supports you on a one-to-one basis throughout your studies here at Middlesex. So if, for example, you're studying a BA Accounting and Finance program, we have an advisor who specializes in advice and guidance and career management for accounting and financial industries. If you're coming from a more creative program, for example, a fashion design program, we've got an advisor who will deal with fashion and arts and creative industries. So it's really important that you engage with those faculty employability advisors, because they offer sector-specific knowledge and they can provide you with all the support you need to navigate the next chapter of your career. They can help you look for work experience, they can help you look for a placement during the studies, they can give you support from CV and interviews, we can do mock interviews with you. If you want to go on to apply for further study, we can help you with that. And more generally, it's making sure that that experience, as I said, is tailored to what you want to do. So by sitting down with an advisor, you have an opportunity to essentially tell them, this is what I need in relation to achieving my career goals. And what we'll try and do is empower you to take the steps you need to make that happen. We also offer a range of campus-wide events and fairs and networking opportunities. I know one of the big questions nowadays from all students is, which employers do you work with? Do you have a host of organisations who offer placements and internships and graduate roles? We do, and we offer those access to those employers throughout the year. So we offer a whole host of events and networking opportunities and real employer projects that you can take part in as you move through your academic experience at Middlesex. As I said, the degree by itself, not enough. You must get involved in projects and liaising with employers and skills for employment workshops to help you navigate the future. We also offer a fantastic resource through Unitemps, which offers paid part-time work here on campus. Obviously, at the moment, we're online, but we still have opportunities through Unitemps for online roles. So Unitemps, basically, to summarize, houses all of the part-time paid employment opportunities here at Middlesex for students. We pay the London living wage, which I believe is around about £10.55 an hour. So by signing up to Unitemps through MDXworks, you have access to apply for a whole host of part-time jobs during your studies. We also have a dedicated employment platform called MDXworks.com. So we offer that one-to-one advice and guidance through faculty advisors, but naturally we have to go to bed. We can't be in the room with you all day, every day of the week. So we offer this fantastic 24/7 access website, MDXworks.com, where you can look at job opportunities, upcoming events that are happening within the university, and a whole host of other things in terms of resources that you can access and download to help you with things like writing your CV, preparing for an interview, searching for a placement in the creative industries, searching for a placement in science and technology. We've housed pretty much all of our content that helps you to self-learn on this website. And it's really important that you use the website because it actually complements the one-to-one support that you gain from us as advisors here at Middlesex. You can also book all your appointments through the website with the careers team. So this is a really great platform. And as I said, it contains loads of resources. So if you are joining us, which we hope you will, this is a website you'll have access to from day one. As soon as you hold your offers, you can sign up and you'll be able to have a little look and navigate around the platform. As we are talking international, I should probably mention something around what we do to support international students. And we are really proud that we do offer some very specific international student support here at Middlesex. As I said, we are hugely proud of the fact that we have such a rich diversity at Middlesex. It's one of our key selling points as a university. I think we're up to over 160 nationalities now across all of our campuses. And I think that international community and intercultural competence is what makes Middlesex unique. We always love to welcome our international community, but we know with that comes specific needs and questions and concerns and support requests. So as a result, we do offer some very specific international student support here in Careers and Employability at MDXworks. So if you're looking to a placement as part of your course, or if you're needing to find some work experience, we can support you with those things and making sure that you understand the visa permissions and putting you in touch with the right teams there. We also have a very specific platform called Student Circus, which actually lists all opportunities for international students here in London. And that is an exclusive sign-on website for students here at Middlesex. So that's something that you'll have access to upon arrival as well. I want to talk very briefly about some of the projects and programs that we offer through MDXworks. As I said, the degree is wonderful, but you must do more. So whether it's finding a part-time job, whether it's doing a project, or whether it's doing a placement or an internship, those are the natural things that you think of that people would usually do alongside degree. But actually, there's a whole host of other ways you can get involved. And we offer a program of co-curricular activities to help you to boost your CV and give something to talk about when you come to meeting an employer. So MDX Advantage is a program which is designed for final year students. So when you're in your final year, you can take part in a whole 6 months worth of careers and employability activities, which are exclusive to that membership. It includes a one-to-one mentor for 6 months and also includes exclusive events and employment opportunities by signing up to MDX Advantage. MD Accelerator is a program for our aspiring entrepreneurs. If you've got a business startup idea, if you're entrepreneurial minded, and you've got some flair for self-employment and startup, MD Accelerator is the program for you. It is allowing you to pitch for some seed funding and take part in a program which offers a whole host of masterclasses and online and on-campus activity to help you navigate the world of self-employment and business startup. MD Excel is all around project-based learning. So it's an opportunity to work with our employer partners on a specific project they will package up and give to us as Middlesex and for you as students. It could be a website build, it could be a marketing brief, it could be anything, but it's an opportunity to show and gain real-world experience through MD Excel. The Emerging Professional Program down the bottom there is a summer program, which we'll be launching next month. So again, we'd love to see some of you there because it will be opening up to all of those students and prospective students. And it will offer a whole host of summer program activities for you to dip in and out of throughout the summer. And MDX Equals, finally, on the right-hand side there, is an umbrella term which captures all of the events and activities that we do here at Middlesex, which have a diversity and inclusion focus. As we said, we're hugely proud of our international community and really, really want to celebrate that. And we do those things through MDX Equals. Mindful of time, just going to wrap up with the final couple of slides. As I said, we run some events and fairs throughout the year. Some of our biggest ones are on screen. So our Gradstock Employment and Careers Festival, we host that every autumn term. So in October 2020, we held Gradstock wholly online over a full week. Over 45 organisations came to Gradstock to offer opportunities, insights, and a whole lot more for our students. And we hosted that through things like Zoom and other programs which we were using. Career Connect, as you can see on screen, we managed to replicate a virtual campus here at Middlesex. So you could wander around with an avatar and meet employers and alumni who have been to the university before. And again, talk about careers and employability and how they navigated their pathway during their own time at Middlesex. We also run a whole host of pop-ups throughout the year. So if you want to attend a pop-up webinar or an on-campus session, there'll be things like applying for graduate schemes or how to go self-employed. We also offer things with guest employers as well. So we'd love for you to get involved in as many of those events as possible. This one I'm going to skip over, but I really recommend you have a read of this in your spare time because obviously we all know we're going through a global pandemic. It's really important that we understand what type of attributes employers are looking for in the next kind of 5-10 years. And these are just some of the ones that we think as a service and as a wider university that will prepare you for a suitable future. And what we will aim to do as MDXworks is help you to actually understand what these skills mean in the first instance, but also how can I gain them? How can I gain some knowledge and experience around actually practically applying these skills? And that's another thing we can offer as part of the service. That's a very similar slide. So I'm going to wrap up with one more, which is some of those that we work with. Some of those other slides you can take a look at in your own time. One of them is around LinkedIn Learning, which is an online platform that you have access to here at Middlesex, which allows you to undertake any short course that you can imagine to help you develop a skill. We now offer a subscription, but every Middlesex student who joins has access for free to LinkedIn Learning. Normally it's around £30 a month. And actually, if you were looking to understand that, okay, well, I need to use Photoshop or I want to understand how to code, all of those things can be undertaken through LinkedIn Learning as an extracurricular activity, and you can do that for free. And as you can see on the screen, here are just some of the organizations that we work with. Some of those have been attending our fairs, some of them offer projects to students, some of them offer graduate internships. Warner Media, for example, so Warner Brothers and HBO, they offered a graduate internships very recently to Middlesex. The Ministry of Justice, one of the key government departments here in the UK, offered some exclusive summer internships, and many more you see on screen are continuously working with us to offer opportunities for our students. So I'm really mindful of time. I think I've gone slightly over, so I do apologize, but I want to make sure that the students have an opportunity to talk through their experience, because that's the most important thing, hearing it directly from them. So I don't think we've had the arrival of Atiza, have we? So I will hand over to Nika, if she doesn't mind, and then we can pick up on some questions as we go through towards the end. So Nika.
Sorry, Atiza is with us.
Atiza is here, okay,
Yes.
in that case. We are going to go to Atiza in that case. Over to you.
Yes, hi. Thank you very much, Jack, and thank you very much everyone for joining in. I hope you can hear me clearly. My name is Atiza. I'm a research degree student at Middlesex University. So as you can see on the screen, I started at Middlesex for a very long time. It's been almost 10 years now. So I started with my undergrad degree in criminology in 2011, successfully graduated in 2014. Then I got scholarship, and then I wanted to study further, so I got a postgraduate 50% scholarship, and then I went on to complete my master's degree in the same academic discipline, that is criminology. And then I moved to France because I was working for the international police, and obviously with all the help that I get from Middlesex, that was quite helpful for me to reach a top-notch organization. And very recently, well, not recently, it's been a year now that I've started my PhD now in criminology again. So hopefully in the next couple of years, I will be done with my PhD again from Middlesex. So as you can see, my experience from Middlesex has been very vast and very useful. So I mean, feel free to ask me any questions with regards to careers, with regards to opportunities. As I go further with my presentation, obviously, feel free to just type a question on the chat box, and I'll try my best to answer while I'm presenting. And if not, then one of my colleagues can reply to your question. So if you can have next slide, and then I can continue further. Yeah, so I am an international student ambassador. I'm originally from Pakistan. It's a small country in South Asia, very close to India. And as an international student, obviously Middlesex was my first choice because of the state-of-the-art learning facilities that Middlesex offers. Also, for international students, one of the most popular universities here in the UK, especially in London. You've got the whole world of opportunities in front of you. I mean, especially for my course, especially for criminology and law, Middlesex is one of the best in business here in London. So Middlesex was my first choice when I started looking out for universities back home in Pakistan. So if we can have next slide. Yeah, so when it comes to the professional and personal development, Middlesex not only offers with the academic support, but also, as Jack was going through with all these slides, you know, just LinkedIn learning and a tailor-made advisor to help you assist with your CV preparation, your job interviews, and lot many other things. I mean, I personally apply for this international student ambassador work through Unitemps, through MDXworks, and they have been really helpful in and drilling out, you know, to make my CV stand out when I go out to interviews, and this is what really works out for me, and I think I've been to other universities as well, but I personally feel that this kind of support, the career support that I received from Middlesex, has been tremendous. It's amazing. So if you can have the next slide now. Um, Yes, again, state-of-the-art learning facilities, as I said, that student and an extraordinary student learning and well-being support, especially in these unprecedented times. I mean, I can tell you from my experience, like for instance, Middlesex has been supporting their students with this pandemic and everything as the best as they can. For instance, for instance, these days everything is online. You know, I've been having my lectures online. So students who do not have laptops or electronic devices, Middlesex has been providing them loan of free of charge loan free laptop. So I've had my laptop for more than 8 months now, And I mean, this is one of the things that MDX support their students. Like, I have my laptop. It's a brilliant machine. It helps me with my lectures. So it's just, the thing with MDX is that, they go an extra mile to help and support students. So if we go to the next slide now, and yeah, so as I said that, as a student ambassador, I work at a number of events. For instance, the picture on your left that you can see, I was working at campus as an open day, doing the same thing, speaking to potential students who would want to come to the UK, to London to study, and answering their questions. On your right, you can see this when I'm wearing this black t-shirt. So I was a part of I was part of the Erasmus exchange trip. So I mean, I was presenting there with part of my university, and it was wonderful experience, So this is kind of a thing that really standed out on my CV. So whenever I go and I present my CV to potential employers, then they see that a degree alone as Jack was saying, is not enough these days, unfortunately. So you should have like added value on your CV for your potential employers to see that, okay, you have done an exchange trip, you have done this placement, you have done this internship, regardless of it's like 2 months or 3 months or 6 months or whatever the case may be, but it just stands you out. So for instance, this trip that I went there was a 3-day trip with the university. I got a nice looking certificate, something to put on my CV, and the employer to see that yes, this person has got a degree, as well as an extra, I mean, extracurricular activity. So Middlesex MDXworks has been really helpful with this exchange trip as well. So they really helped me out with this, with my trip to Greece. So if we can have the next slide now. Sorry about a delay. So yes, as an international student, apart from being an international student, I also work for the MDX Students Union. So again, part-time work always looks a great option when you are an international student here in London, especially in these circumstances. So MDX provides a lot of different options. So working at the Students Union is one way to work on campus and build career networking. So like if you're into policy, if you want to campaign, if you want to take active interest in the student affairs, then this is one of the ways that you can do. So MDX works again, that I don't want to go into details because Jack has been summarized us all, everything about MDX was really in detail. I mean, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. But I especially work for a students union. Again, I get London living wage, 10.55, excluding holiday pay. Good, good working atmosphere. The supervisors are really nice, and again, that's one of the way that you can again put something on your CV that and again, one of the way that you can work on campus as well, to put something on your CV. So this is one blog, as you can see on the screen right now. This is one of the blog that I've written post-COVID, obviously, and that's on the MDX website. So if anybody want to go and visit the MDX student website, that's www.mdxsu.com. So yeah, if you can have the next slide. Um, and yes, so once in a lifetime student experience here in London. I mean, as I said, that once you are in London, you've got a whole world of opportunities in front of you. It's just a matter of, opening up the doors of opportunity. And there's a lot of support available at the university. The student experience has been wonderful, apart from the past 16 months. But even then, as I said, the support that I've been receiving from Middlesex is exceptional. I mean, I've got friends at LSE, I've got friends at Brunel, I've got friends with other universities at Reading, and when I compare the support that I receive at Middlesex and the support that they receive at their universities, Middlesex is way ahead and going an extra mile and doing providing this brilliant support to the students. So yeah, I mean, any questions, again, feel free to ask me. If you can have the next slide now. Oh yeah, that's pretty much the end of my slide. So I will hand it over to my colleague Nicolette. Again, any questions, feel free to ask me about criminology. I did criminology. I mean, anything you would like to know about criminology, criminal justice, policing, law. I'm happy to help you out with my internship in France when I was at the International Police Headquarters in France, and then I did my first year of internship, went back to my home country in Pakistan, and I've recently started my PhD again in criminology. I mean, I want to go dig deep into my PhD, but any questions, anything about it, just ask me here. And over to you now, Nicola. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Atiza. So I'm Nicolette MacDonald, and I recently graduated with a Master of Science in Digital Marketing. Actually, my graduation year is 2021 because I deferred throughout the pandemic as well. So yes, quite recent and so much opportunity awaiting me. All right, next please, Jack. Okay, so I come from the Philippines, and it's known as the Pearl of the Orient. Interestingly, it's a tropical country. That's why I'm out today and enjoying the sun here in London. And I miss it so much, and I'm sure you'll love it here as well. Okay, so next, please. Well, what I wanted to highlight on for my presentation is really how Middlesex pushed me professionally and personally, pushing my known limits, and it really enabled me to reach for greater heights. And why do I say this? Because as a professional, and I know that this is why most of you are here, you want to know how you will progress. Why are you going through this next step in your educational background, and why is it important? I know that you would want to secure opportunities along the way, and Jack and Natiza touched on these topics a while back. And personally as well, it's about tailoring your needs with the career that you're looking for. And for example, this opportunity to be an international student ambassador has helped me a lot while I'm also a mom. I'm also a full-time mom at the moment. So things like this is really fine-tuned depending on what you need. Next, please. What Middlesex has taught me is really to enhance my critical thinking. But more than that, it has inspired forward thinking and application. And the application part is important. This is a screenshot of the manuscript of my research, which was about marketing and coronavirus. And because I'm a digital marketing graduate, I touched up on social media influence on intention and behavior of Gen Y and Gen Zs. And why was it important that it progressed to being published, and hopefully it will be soon, is that because it really pushed me not to just do my research for the sake of doing research, but really contribute to the industry at large. Next, please. And of course, we do have enriching class discourse that is very helpful because, like what Jack said earlier, we come from different parts of the world. Can you imagine? So you'll have people from Asia, from Europe, and you'll have people from Africa, for example, talking about how they see marketing in their own countries and how are they applying it here and how you would want to apply it in the future and fine tune what you know. So it is about creating avenues for growth and development in your professional career. Next. So these are videos of the actual experiences I've had in terms of how I was able to get in industry events. So specific to those who are in marketing, but also good news is that Middlesex partners with a lot of industry specific, what do you call this? Industry specific associations. Therefore, it's a step towards finding which role you can secure in the future. And I guess what I want you to know as well is that the way you can see career progression is that it's not just applying for a job. What's important is also you see how these opportunities come along while you meet different people and build your network, and that's very important. So for example, this is with the IAB, so that's the advertising association here in the UK, and we were exposed to a lot of people from advertising agencies, which are even multinationals and also startups as well. Okay, next please. And this was pre-pandemic, and I hope that it will continue while everything will ease. Was that we also had a residential program, and this is one of the selling points of the master's program that I did, because we were sent to Swansea, Wales, and it was a very good experience for us to see how different businesses would apply marketing and how we can impact on them. Because at the end of our residential program, we would actually present a business plan and a marketing plan for them, and how we actually can bring to life what we've learned in theory. And that's what's important. So yes, you do have your master's degree or you have your undergraduate degree, but at the same time, how will you apply it moving forward? Interestingly, so if you see here, you have an archery business, which is very small time and very specific to tourism. You have sports marketing, which is quite huge here. And also a hotel business, which is in the hotel and tourism sector. Okay, next. Okay, so again, this was something that Jack touched up upon earlier, which is the access to endless opportunity. So you have MDXworks, which have a lot of services that have helped me a lot, especially when you come from another part of the world and you want to understand, for example, CV preparation. For some of you who have work experience. I personally did have work experience before I pursued my master's, but I still learned a lot because you cannot assume that it's the same thing. Even with your CV, for example, I used to have a CV with my picture on it, but here it's not a practice. So these are things that you need to tailor in order for you to get the right format, as simple as that. And then you also have, for example, Unitemps. So Unitemps gives you access to part-time work on and off campus. So this is an example of an opportunity that we got through Unitemps, which is being an international student ambassador, and there are lots more. I guess what's interesting about this is that for those who are entering the country on a student visa, you also have a limit of 16 hours. To 20 hours of work. So therefore, it's really advisable, because you're here to study, and that's really the purpose of why you're here with us, then it's an avenue for you to look into what can be appropriate for this kind of setup. And lastly, I wanted to mention the Alumni Association, because recently, even after I graduated in February, they've been giving us access to different networking activities. So for example, because I'm in the field of marketing and advertising, Ogilvy had a specific talk that was interesting that I was invited to as well. And it's really good to immerse in your field, as you would want to have that kind of appreciation of what you're studying, and at the same time of how it can be used in the future. So again, if you have questions, we'll be answering them shortly, as we've answered a few already, but thank you very much.
Thank you both. That was really, really interesting for me to hear. So I do hope that those students who are on the call have learned a lot as well. I think the key takeaway from me, from the two students' talks today, was around just how much they've got involved with at their time here at Middlesex. And as we've all pointed out, it is about what you do when you join us. There's a whole host of opportunities out there. And by using the support through MDXworks and your peers and your colleagues and course tutors, you can put together a real portfolio of opportunity, which is, as I said, your story to tell a future employer. So we'll open up for some questions now. I'm mindful of that the chat is absolutely packed full of questions, and some ones have been picked up already. So what I will do is I'll have a little look through and I'll pick out some select ones that I can see that maybe haven't been answered, some of the more recent ones. And then if anybody is absolutely done, and paste that there. If there's anything which isn't related to careers / employability, I won't be able to pick those up now, but I'm sure that Fanny will take those away and make sure that those can be answered after the session when she shares some of the slides. So the one I've just found randomly here is, can you tell me about job opportunities for a degree in psychology with neuroscience? Funnily enough, yes, I can. So during my experience at Middlesex, I used to work quite closely with the psychology department, and the psychology department is really renowned here at the university for offering a fantastic placement scheme and work experience scheme. So if you're looking to do a year in industry, or if you're looking to gain some experience, we have loads of partnerships with lots of employers and organizations. For example, many NHS trusts offer opportunities for psychology students. And I know, for example, in years gone by, that students who have studied psychology or neuroscience have gone and worked in very specialist NHS hospital units. So, for example, we've got St George's Hospital here in London. And, for example, someone with psychology or neuroscience degree went and did a specific time with people who were victims of strokes and helped them with their neuropsychological recovery. So there's loads of opportunities for around what you can do with that degree. It's not limited. And what I would always say is sit down with one of our advisors, because as I said at the start, we've got people who specialize in these subject areas. And what we would do is put you in touch with Emma, for example, who leads on psychology programs. And Emma would be able to recommend not just places where you can look for work experience and not just things you can do with your degree, but also will teach you how you can do that yourself. Because the main thing that we take away from a lot of this is we want to empower you to understand how you can navigate your career, because it is your career, and we'll be able to give you resources and web links and all of those things to help you to find those answers to the questions that you're already posing. Okay, what else have we got here? Nika's answered that one already. Some of the questions I'm noticing as I scroll through are very, very specific to courses. So, for example, there's one around opportunities in public health, and there's very similar ones around epidemiology I can see. What I would recommend is, if you've got very specific questions about your course and job opportunities, is you get in touch with MDXworks. So we can set you up with one of our advisors who can maybe send you some information and resources and some materials to get you thinking about these things before you potentially join us here at the university. I would love to say that I'm an expert in all things careers, but things like public health and epidemiology, I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly those career routes that are available to you. But we do have advisors who are specialists for that reason. So if you do have a question that you think, I wouldn't mind actually speaking to an advisor about that, or just liaising with them over email, do drop an email at the end and we can make sure that that happens. We've got any more general questions? So how can I gain experience? That seems to be quite a common one. I think gaining experience that you study, as I can see the guys have answered in the chat already, if you're looking to do a placement, most programs here at Middlesex have a placement route, but they're not all the same. So some university courses will offer a year-long placement, some will offer a year-long placement and short-term work experience, others may not have a year-long placement but may offer 6 months. So it very much depends on the course you study. But one thing that we are absolutely passionate about here at Middlesex is making sure that you have an opportunity to gain some form of experience. So it doesn't matter if it's actually a placement or an internship, or if it's necessarily a module. come and speak to us in MDXworks and say, I want to gain some experience in a hospital, or I want to gain some experience in a marketing agency, or I'm really keen to gain some prison and probation experience, whatever it is, we will try and ensure that we can help you to find those opportunities. As been pointed out, we've got relationships with organizations who we can jobs board that you can apply for directly. We'll teach you, more importantly, how to go and approach organizations directly. So not always relying on things that are advertised, but getting your name out there and doing some networking through things like LinkedIn and speculative approaches to say, I'm a student here at Middlesex and I'm passionate to gain experience in a marketing agency, and here's my CV that I've worked on with through MDXworks, which just tells my story, and we can find you opportunities that way. Okay, any newer questions that are coming in? Any questions about vaccinations and things? We'll have to set up planning. We'll take those ones away that you can see. You can see a couple of those. How has the pandemic affected employment opportunities for students? I think that's a really, really great question. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and kind of lie to everyone and say that the pandemic hasn't created a real tough environment for the graduate jobs market. It's the truth, everybody knows that. And there are fewer opportunities and more graduates competing for the same opportunities, which is why we do talks like this today to say that actually, if you are going to come to Middlesex, the degree is not going to be enough. It wasn't anyway, and even more so now. So it is about learning about all the things that you can do here at the university, and Nika and a project, and I'm also taking part in learning as well. When you come to apply for a job, you're going to be in a really fantastic position, pandemic or no pandemic, because you have shown that you've got the right attributes, skills, and potential that employers are looking for. So yes, it's had an adverse effect, and it is tough times. And I think, you know, the labour market may not recover until around 2022 is probably being touted at the moment. But, you know, if you're coming over on an undergraduate degree, by the time you've finished, hopefully things will be fully back to normal. Even if you're on a master's degree, it's a case of just ensuring that you do the right things and you apply yourself here at the university, you take advantage of the support available, and you will find that there are opportunities available.
Jack, if I may add to that as well. So yes, definitely coronavirus has affected a lot of job opportunities here. In fact, speaking from experience, I already secured a marketing manager job while I was studying at Middlesex. So I was doing it part-time, and I was looking into doing it full-time after I graduated. But unfortunately, when the pandemic hit, it was right up to when I was going to renew my contract. And sadly, they couldn't renew it because of the difficulties in business at the moment. So this is quite normal, and regardless of where you're at, especially even here in London, we are quite affected by the pandemic. But at the same time, like what Jack said, I guess the notion about, yes, support will be given, and MDXworks and other resources will be available for you, but it's also up to you to find that. It's also up to the student to, everything can't be just spoon fed. You really have to work hard, and it's a very competitive market here, and that's what I learned. Imagine yourself as a small fish in a big pond, because that is London for you. But the good news is, for example, one of my colleagues who also graduated at the same time as I did, she sent her resume to, not kidding you, like 500 companies. Sorry about that background noise. 500 companies in 5 months' time. But now she's happy with the multinational corporation that she's with. And she, again, it's really about timing at the end of the day. So don't be discouraged, but yes, we really have to work hard.
Thank you very much, Nicolette. If I can just quickly answer a couple of questions To Chris ask, can I get visa extension assistance from MDX? Yes, we have a international students a visa liaison team, and they really help you out with your application, visa extension application. They did it for me, so it's a great. Again, we've got international students welfare team, advice team, and they help you with all sort of visa extension application. So that's one thing. DJ asked, after my MBA, can I get PhD in finance from Middlesex? Yes, certainly you can. Yes. Middlesex have got a great research degrees department for finance, law, and business. Yes, certainly you can. You just have to write a proper research proposal and go through the research degree administration. I can send you the link right now after I've done, and yes, you can. You definitely can study a PhD in finance once you are done with your MBA.
Thank you, Atiza. That's really helpful to pick up some of those extra questions. Just having a little troll through again to see. I think the questions around support with internships, I've seen a couple of those. Do we get support to find internships on our course? Absolutely. I think we've covered that. But just to reiterate, if you are looking for work experience as part of your course, whether that be an internship or a project or a year-long placement or voluntary experience, whatever it is, we will help you to find that exactly that. So yeah, people have got around any career related matters or otherwise, if it's directly related to your course, as I said, we can certainly support with those. I'm just going to pop in the chat our email address, so if you do have any questions that you think would be suitable to ask one of our advisors, email us and say that you are considering obviously a course at the university and what that course is, and ask any of the career inquiries that you may have in relation to what you can do with your degree or placement, and we'll be able to support you. And as you can see, we've just got a poll on screen at the moment. If you guys do want to fill that in, that's really helpful. So we can always tweak these for the future to make sure that they are specific to what you guys need to know. I will just kind of summarize again just by saying just how much we benefit as a university from our international community and our international students, and we are only looking to do more in relation to how we can provide support for international students at Middlesex. It's a real key service indicator for us as MDXworks next year on things that we can focus, and we have things we involved with looking for exclusive opportunities, and Atiza pointed out that all the visa support that's available for you. But you know, it's an international community for a reason. So if there are ideas that people have got around things that we can be doing for MDXworks and wider, we're always open to that. And I know the Students' Union is very similarly positioned on that. So just double check, any final questions or any more reflections that Atiza, Nika, did you want to add anything, or is that all okay your side?
Actually, there was one particular question that was asked, and it was about getting a placement or a part-time job. What's the difference and what's recommendable? So again, it was emphasized earlier about it's about tailoring to what your needs are. So when I was, for example, based on experience, and just to share with you, when I was still doing my master's, I took a part-time job, which was helpful because of the schedule. And it was, I wanted to already start while I was studying, and so I could apply the theory in the classroom to an actual job or an actual career here. But at the same time, when I had to shift to this uni temps job, which is like what I got from uni temps is more of a zero contract hours. It's more appropriate with my situation now, as I am a full-time mom at the moment. Before, I explore career opportunities after this stage. So there is no right or wrong answer of how you want to go about it. If you do want to get a placement or a part-time job in the meantime, these opportunities are available for you, but it depends on, it's really about tailoring it to your needs. So I hope that helps, because I saw a few and most of them were direct messages to me.
Thank you. Absolutely. It very much depends on your own experience and your own needs, as pointed out. So it's an opportunity to gain some shorter term work experience as part of your degree. So usually there'll be any time between like 4 weeks and maybe 12 weeks would be typical of an internship, and there'll be paid experience that may run through the summer. Or maybe part-time alongside your degree, but it won't be that full year-long placement that a lot of universities talk about.
So for instance, just a very quick one. So for instance, my internship with the Middlesex Students Union was for about 6 to 7 months. So I started last year, and I've recently, I've seen that it's coming towards the end of, I'm coming towards the end of my internship now. So it was a great learning experience. So I mean, the internship experience, it's something to put on your CV, and it appeals onto you, to the potential employer as well. Job placement is more of part of your academic curriculum. Universities, it's more like a sandwich degree where you spend 1 good year in the industry, and then you come back to the university to complete the final year if you are doing the undergrad course. So that's the difference, I think.
Yeah, typically, although you will find that some employers will call a placement an internship and an internship a placement. So you often will just have to read very carefully those job descriptions, and it will tell you exactly the length, and usually the length will give you a steer.
And it's not something like internship is better than placement or placement is better than internship. I think it's to me personally, both are equally important when it comes to work experience and getting part-time work as an international student. Yeah.
Yeah, and the key, the term that we're using more and more, and employers are using more and more, is work-related activity. Try and ensure that you find and secure some general work-related activity whilst you're studying your degree. That doesn't always have to be an internship or replacement, because some people, for example, Nika said that she's a mum, and sometimes it's not easy to take on a full-time internship for 3 months if you're a mum, or if you're a commuter student, or whatever it may be. So find the experience that works for you, but most importantly, make sure that you do find something that can complement that degree program. And here at MDXworks, we're here to help you do exactly that. So if there are no more questions, thank you everyone for attending first and foremost. We've really enjoyed it. I hope the guys have as well. We've already seen the answers to the poll, so really pleased that we've delivered on what you thought that the session was about, because that's the main thing. We want to make sure that you do take away that important information. If we've missed anything though, contact us through the Facebook group for offer holders, because that link is in the chat box. As I said, email MDXworks if you've got any questions related to careers and employability. I know Atiza said he's going to pick a couple of bits up as well. So get in touch. That's all we ask, really. If you need help, that's what we're here to do. And so we do hope to see you at Middlesex soon, in one way or another, whether that be virtually initially and then on campus, but we'll get there eventually. So big thank you to you all for giving up your time to join us today. And in particular, a big thank you to Nika and Atiza for talking through their experience, because it really brought to life exactly what things are like here at Middlesex. And we hope that you'll be able to have similar positive experiences with us very soon. So thanks all, and have a great afternoon.